very good evening. First of all, accept my name, which is Bengali. I'm a bit less Bengali. It's my retirement target. I will be a Bengali by when I will be retired. So I'll be bilingual as much as I can be. Uh, there were nice discussions, and it was quite encouraging to hear whatever was discussed, especially in the previous sessions. And coming to, I belong basically to the academic industry, academic publication industry. So my experience is bit less in what we call a general publishing, what we call its literature, basic literature. But as the world goes, means I represent a publisher which is global, and I see the world in total as a global, and there is nothing gloomy about it. There is no dearth. If you say currently we say the public is, means the industry, the size of the industry, which actually determines how well we are. The publishing industry is something around 20 billion USD currently in the world. 20 billion USD. USD, if you calculate by multiply it by 85. So 20 into 85 is what? Billion is what the current industry is about. Now coming to definitely 80%, here everywhere it is the Pareto's law of business applies. So definitely literature is around 80% of whatever is published, the region means the language publishing, the other countries which their language it is published. Academic publishing still is around 20% of this 20 billion USD. So that comes to be around 4 billion USD. So in this also, if you say the academic publishing as well as in the non-academic, uh, it is a globalized world. When it comes to globalization, we means relate globalization with democracy. It's not. Democracy doesn't mean there will be hundreds and hundreds equals. It's time when there are global pillars. So in non-academic also there are five pillars which we know in US. These are all five US or they are MNCs. Five US companies who control 80% of the market. As well as when you come to the industry where I am, the academic publishing, here also there are five, we say there are pillars or five companies who control, let's say, 80% of the market. I can name them out. It is like in academic publishing, we have Springer, Elsevier. Elsevier is the largest. Elsevier, Springer. Then you have John Wiley. Then you have Taylor Francis. And we say the fifth one is the university presses. The university presses means they all combine together. You have CUP, OUP, and the American university presses. They all combine together. They constitute something around this remaining. Means if you say the total one, they are something around 10-15%. The remaining is being owned by this four major publishers. So now coming to how the business is, means that is what basically Dr. Basu have asked me. So currently you see the global order means, and there was a discussion beforehand whether it is there is a printed book or an e-book which is preferable, which is not preferable. If you come to my perspective, I have to do seminars in universities basically every alternate month in some central universities. And my audience are very limited to only the research scholars and the professors. So when I define what they publish and why they publish, it coming to why what you want to publish. Publish means publishing a content. We don't define means it is the size of the content which makes it either a journal paper or a book. It's the size, basically the size, what you are publishing, what you want to express out, what you are publishing, and why you want to publish it is another big question. You have some fascinating ideas, you do publish it, that's fine. And if there is an audience to it, there will be, somebody will read it. And coming to, this publishing, whether it will be, means, will there be audience or not. If you have an idea and that idea is worth, there will be somebody in this world who will read it. Investment, okay, fine. Investment is a very big barrier while you go to publish. Whether you will be paying from your own pocket, or you will be, somebody, the publisher will invest on you. This is also goes with the market logic. If you are worth, a publisher will definitely invest on you, but you have to prove your worth first to get somebody invested in you. So this dilemma remains. There are a few slides, if you can continue. This is why academic means, and I will come back to the academic publishing, why academic publishing matters. It's around 2.5 million academic articles are published yearly. Articles, when I say, is you can call a book chapter also an article, a paper article, whatever. It's an individual who have expressed. It can be a book too. Something what we define is, a 10-page expression is a journal article or an article. Anything where you express more than 150 pages becomes a book. So that's the basic logic out. And coming to books and ebooks, it's coming to why there will be a e and why there will be a print. Globally, we have seen, and it's basically more psychological. Means we are still humans with two eyes, one head, means one brain, and we can evolve out to be four-eyed one with one hand or one leg someday. This pure evolution. Then maybe something will change. But in this current structure, it is something, and there is a research which have been going on in US for a long time. It is said that human being can glue to a screen. Means there is something called attention, how much attention you can give. If something is about 10 pages, what we say, 10 A4 pages, which you translate to number of words or so. So that is readable in electronic format. Anything more than that is not readable. That is why the print exists. A company like us, who are 100% means zero inventory company, we don't have any inventory as such. We have something around 2 lakh plus title. Can you imagine a company who have more than 2 lakh plus books, who publishes more than 2,500 journals, academic journals, is completely zero inventory. We have zero inventory. We run on zero inventory. And this is not today, not in 2024. I joined this company some 11 years back. It was then also. It was about now 15 years. We are a zero inventory company with portfolios in textbooks as well as in all types of publications we have. So how it is? We look at the customers, how they demand. See, if we have a book which has been demanded, we have some textbooks which sells something around, let's say, in India only, not I'm not even looking at the global. They sell more than 20 to 30,000 copies a year in India. So that also, we are zero inventory on that. We know there will be something around 30,000 units demand of this textbook, which will come in a year. We print it once in a year, definitely in offset, and there are distributors to buy it. We announce that we will be printing in this date, and there will be pre-orders booked with us months before. And then we have this research publication where we know if it gets published, 5 copies, 10 copies is a good sale. That also we do. See, we are sometimes, speak about whatever earlier it used to be like, we used to use a term called ivory tower publishing. And it is about university, because still this conference is on Visva Bharati and it's been a university. Whatever is a university professors thinks of or do whatever the research they throws the, means we say they used to throw the research out and it used to get published. We used to call ivory tower publishing because there we don't have a control. Whatever they used to, means what you say in your part is the author gives us and the publisher publishes. Now the time has changed. We are 100% commercial, and we, being a commercial publisher, we look at the revenue we will be earning out of a publication. So it is basically demand based. Whether your research is fruitful or not, if your research is what you think is fruitful, definitely you need to pay for that. So we have paywalls, and now it is something like in Europe there is something called democratization is coming on. You do not have to universities if you are a student, if you are an academic. So what they say is that the content we are providing, why we will be paying for it, means why we will be paying to again buy it. Came the concept of open access. Yes, please give us the content. We are what? We turned ourselves to be the hosting platform. These are all the nitty-gritties you said, about publication. Publication is a process. It takes time. It takes investment. In simple terms, we say if we publish a book in Telefrance's, people do not get published before 6 months minimum. But still, we say we have a process oriented company. Our processes are defined. A single book minimum takes something around 45 days to 60 days to get published. Each and every process to get complete. So, this process has cost. We pay for the cost. Definitely, it is nothing wrong if you means pay from your own pocket to get published. The day you will be recognized, the day the company will value you, means the globe will value you. Means the publisher will advance pay you. But the time, your work, you need to establish. Definitely, you need to pay from your pocket, and there is nothing wrong in it. As far as you simply think of globalized world, and with simple logics, this remains. So basically, what the whole, there's nothing gloomy about this whole is a system. What we say is demand supply based thing, and there are not thousands, lakhs of people work in it. Yes, there is a still, in India also we are feeling there is a dearth of resources now available for the in the who are coming to the industry. It was not this 20 years back when I joined the industry. But now, our HR says who are there to recruit, who goes to campuses. We go to campuses, means they come back and say we have vacancies, one or two vacancies. They go to two or three IIMs or IITs and come back and say, oh, nobody is interested, man. Nobody is interested to join publishing. That happens. That happens because we've been a traditional sector. We are still not the IT. Maybe we use more IT than a software company themselves do. But we are not labeled a IT. We are labeled as a company, means as a sector which is very traditional. So the resources, they do not find, means the resources also do not find us very attractive. Neither we do find resources because we look for somewhere there is a, means like people define there where you should have a curiosity to know. Unless you have curiosity, you can't survive in publishing. Curiosity of knowledge, at least if you are on jobs like copy editing, proofreading, should have some basic knowledge, and those knowledge like the basic knowledge, the school level knowledge. I'm not talking about higher grade or master degree knowledges. Basic grammatical knowledge, which is now reducing every day, and that's not a that's a lacuna basically with our school education system where also the publishing and publishers do matter, but it happens. Running through the slides, this is the evolution of academic publishing. Earlier there used to be this handwritten manuscript, which came then to the printing press revolution, which came around 15th to 17th century. Then there were scientific journals, which came around 18th to 19th century. Then in the 20th century, the digitization and the commercialization of all the things came. And now we say is the time of open access and AI revolution. Now our discussions mostly, with the conferences I go, is it's become bit predatory whether it will be an ebook or a book. Now we are going to whether it will be AI completely, why the need of a book, or why you need a book or a content. Basically, you need that to to get the knowledge out, to get some feedback on knowledge in academic. Basically, when there is a AI, so you do not need that even that storage. That guy will tell you everything. So why you ultimately need to collect that content or the content we are now publishing and we are now producing? So now our discussion is moving from whether you need a publisher in the when the arena of AI have come. So this is a question we still are now evolving around. Next slide, please. Current challenges in academic publishing is basically people say when you are in an academic institution, the access, the paywall access is there. So 70% of the research is locked behind paywalls, where you need to pay for. And with India, with this year, our government have announced something called ONOS, one nation, one subscription, where all the institutions, especially the central government institutions in this current phase, will get all these journals, at least our 2,500 journal, 90% of the Elsevier journal, everything free. It's not free, they still need to pay from their pocket to the government back, but in a way free to the at least to the research scholars and to the faculties. Sorry, once 1 minute. That. So, and there are still the problem of predatory journals, the dark side of open access publishing. Open access, there are predatory journals, what we call them is basically there are journals where now researcher, first time researcher, with the compulsion that they need to publish 2 papers or 3 papers to get their PhDs. They go, they try to pay from their pocket and get it published without verifying their content. So means those sort of publishers do arise, and they are the challenges. But what I said in starting, that 80% remains of the global market remains with the large multinationals, and they are there who still have the ethics and those. So there is no challenge as such in the overall market. মানে যেটা বাংলায় বলতে গেলে ছোট লেভেলে প্রবলেম থাকবেই, কিন্তু the globe is very big, and there are ethics and what are rules in it. The next one, please. This is the rise of open access and preprint. So this is what is the future we're coming to. Next one, please. AI and the technology, what I was discussing, basically, this is what the challenges, ethical concerns. There are now ethical concerns with coming AI coming. What happens is the question of ethics again is coming from publishing, because I think you have mentioned that whether the if now a poem or a whatever a poet comes, AI will also be a poet. So the situation is coming, but it's not. What we say when we say something around copyright, when we say something around IPR, so if those things exist, those things are not related to AI can't take all those things out. So if they exist, then the content AI won't take out everything. That's our view, and that's the next one, please. This is what we finally say, when we conclude balancing and balancing the innovation and integrity. This is what when we look at the future, this is what we need to balance. If we say the current state of academic publishing, or even I say the current state of whole publishing remains, you need to balance the new innovation as well as you need to have your own integrity. If you keep integrity in publishing, rest won't matter. Thank you. This is last yesterday I have put this picture. As scientists nowadays, what happens, when we publish a paper, we send it for review, and how the review and those matters too. So now with the AI coming everything, it may happen is that I present a paper to AI and he rejects it. So this is what the future is. Thank you.
साधु साधु